Just how much of writing really is editing. Welcome back to Writer's Theory. I'm James Winterthorne, and today I'll be sharing the progress I've made in editing the manuscript that I wrote here on YouTube. Last week, I left the video stating that I hoped to finish this phase of the editing by the time I recorded this. As far as an update goes, well, that just didn't happen. I always underestimate how long it's going to take to edit a project. So while I had high hopes, I still have some work to do in terms of this first run through in editing. That being said, I'm still making much better progress than I did in any project I've had before this. Because of the tools that I'm using, because we're using AI to help us edit. I am making amazing progress still. And because this particular process is new to me, I just don't know how long the project will take from an editing standpoint. So in this video, I still have a couple of clips to share, so I'll share those and talk about what I've discovered, some of the things I tried that didn't work. Because I feel like with these tools that I should be more efficient than I am now. But I haven't been able to realize greater efficiencies than what I'm doing without a direct plug-in and trusting these programs more than I want to right now. So let's get to what I've done over the past week. I didn't record everything again, just a couple of clips. I've also made the clips a little bit longer because I found last time that the 1 minute clip is just a little too short and I don't get to share all of my thoughts as I'm going through them. So I've extended them just a little bit. And let's watch some of the work that I did. So both of these clips came from chapter 7. Chapter 7, if you watched the videos where I wrote out chapter 7, was much longer than I expected it to be. Probably to the point where it should be 2 chapters. Haven't got to that reorganizational state of whether to do that or not to break this chapter up. It does have a very... there's a couple parts where I could very easily separate it, but it is a long chapter, and so it took me most of my efforts this past week just to get through this one chapter. But now that I'm through it, I only have like a quarter of the manuscript left, which I know I said last time, but I should be able to wrap up this week before you come back to the next video. You can see what I'm doing here is I'm going through, and on the left I have the output from ChatGPT after it analyzed the text. I put in a page at a time so it would read the whole thing consistently. And I go through and look at the suggestions, and most times I will heed the advice it's giving me. Sometimes directly, sometimes I will make the changes more precise or more to what I want them to be. But I'm just going through line by line, deciding whether that change is necessary and then making it or not. And just going through almost just a punch list all the way down. I had mentioned I had tried some things because I'm using Microsoft Word, and Microsoft recently made Copilot available, their version of AI. And what I was hoping for, even though I said I don't want to plug in an AI or other software, I figured like, hey, if Copilot's already in Microsoft Word, maybe I'll give it a shot. So I did, and I asked it for a similar output to what I'm getting from ChatGPT, but it wouldn't make changes in the text. I wanted it to highlight the things and then tell me what suggestions. And that was not something it would do. And I don't know, maybe it requires a paid subscription more than what I paid when I signed up for Microsoft Office Suite. But I didn't care for the output. It was in a format that was more difficult to work with. So I just abandoned that project. I didn't give it a lot of effort for whatever it's worth. So if you've used Copilot effectively in this manner, I'm curious what your experiences are, but it didn't work for me. So I went back to what was working here, even though it could potentially be more efficient if I had an in-text suggestions. But I guess that's the line that I've drawn right now, is that I don't want to program in the text making suggestions. I've just run into problems with this in the past where I am too eager to move through the project and accept changes without being thorough about what those changes are. And then those changes being incorrect, honestly. So I didn't want to make that mistake. So I don't have a plugin, and the Copilot attempt was not what I was looking for. So I'm going to carry on with the ChatGPT. Maybe I'll try Claude or another model, but this is working. And I know what it takes now, and maybe I'll finish with ChatGPT. I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out very soon and do that this week. Well, let's get on with the rest of the next segment that I have for editing chapter 7 here, and just watch the rest of my work. So one of the more interesting things as well is that when I put the same input into ChatGPT and put a text out, the format is always very different. It'll give me, like, just in how it bullet points and how it breaks it down. It always comes out a little different. And you can see that there's often these no issues, no changes needed. I specifically asked it not to do that, but I wasn't going to go through and have a back and forth trying to not have that output. Plus, sometimes it's nice to see that, like, it's like, hey, this worked well, thanks. But I'm still just going through line by line and wrapping it up here. This is the end of chapter 7, the part that I'm finishing here. And yeah, this took me days to work through this one chapter. And so I'm still keeping with my working about an hour a day on this project. Like I say, I have a full-time job in addition to this project and recording these videos. So I don't have all the time to spend on this project. So I'm spending about an hour a day. That's what I budget for myself. That's what I recommend to students who have busy lives, is like, where can you find an hour a day? And so with that limitation, I can only do so much. And so I thought I could wrap this phase of the project up in just a week. That just was unrealistic. And it'll probably be another week before I actually complete this step of the process, which is fine. Again, I'm making great progress. I feel really good about where I'm at. I'm more excited for the story. I'm excited to have a clean manuscript for my first full read through and to share with another reader, which is the next step. So speaking of next steps, I'm going to I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. I'm saying it now. I'm going to finish this phase of the project for the next video. And then I'm going to get my printer warmed up, probably buy another cartridge of ink, and print the manuscript for reading. Some people don't like to do this. I do. I like to have the physical copy, and I like to have something I can actually write on. So I will be printing a copy and reading through it. I'll share my progress as I go through that too, but that is the next phase. Looking forward to that. It's kind of fun to like print a manuscript for the first time. I don't know what your experiences have been, but in the past when I wrote projects, whether novels or short stories or whatever, printing it always felt special. It was like somehow it was more real when I printed it. Um, but I've got my expectations more clearly lined up for myself. At least I hope so. And I'm excited to carry on with the project. And thank you for joining me this far along and in the project and in this video as well. If you want to see how this goes for me, this last phase of, or this beginning, no, this middle phase, this whole editing thing, if you want to see how it goes for me, please like and subscribe. If you click the bell, you'll be notified of new videos when they come out. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Editing, 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 editing.